Nathan, coming up. So Nathan Beckord, aside from being an expert sailor and adventure man, is not only also a good friend, but he started a company called Foundersuite, which is designed to help startups excel and do things that they were never able to do before in a more scalable fashion. And he's super exhausted because he had talked about Foundersuite about 320 times today at Startup Grind.
Something like that, yeah.
Take it, Nathan.
All right, thanks. So that's a hard one to follow, but we'll give it a shot anyway. Thanks for having me. I'm Nathan Beckord, and 5 minutes. All right. So I started Foundersuite about 2.5, 3 years ago, and actually we launched as a side project here at SFNT 2014, 2015. So it's fun to be back here to show off this brand new product we just came out with called Investor CRM 2.0. So if you're fundraising, how many people here are fundraising with the startup or thinking about fundraising? So there's a handful. Cool. What we've built here is the ultimate tool for helping you manage your fundraise. And what this is a tool to find investors, build a targeted investor list, and then manage the process, right? Get you out of Excel, get you out of Salesforce or whatever you're using, and give you a dedicated CRM for managing your fundraise. So let me show you how this works. This is what it looks like if you've been fundraising for a while and you have a lot of data populated in here already. Let me show you how this gets set up and why you should try it out. So I'll just call this Nathan Seed Round. Say it's a convertible note. Big one. Raising lots of money. I mean, these guys just raised $5 million for their seed round, so why not, right? So the cool thing is you can start off by searching. So I guess that would be, let's call it food. I'll call it food tech. Maybe that's not the right one, but I think it should work. So you can search by industry. We pull investors that are interested in that category, saving you a ton of time to build your target investor list, right? One of the hardest parts about fundraising is actually figuring out who wants to invest in your type of business. So we've gone and queried Angel's API. We're also building our own database of investors so you can quickly build a target list. So let's say Stefano looks good, Carl looks good. I can add these guys to my dashboard. I'm just going to add a bunch of folks here. So now I've got these on my dashboard, and they're ready for more research. So we pull in social data, right? You've got your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, AngelList. I can open up Carl's LinkedIn. Internet dude. I can see I've got a connection in common. So Nikolai is a connection. I can ask Nikolai to make an introduction. That's the best way to fundraise, is to figure out who is relevant for you and then find someone to introduce you to. Once I'm ready to get that introduction from Nikolai or someone else in common, I move them into a new category and so on and so forth. So as you see from this top row here, we have our research category, which we would fill with 50 to 100 target investors. And as you're researching and learning about these guys and gals, you would move them into the right category or move them off your list, right? This is really the first dedicated CRM for managing your fundraise. And it's going to save you a ton of time. If you've ever done this process using a Google Doc or a sales-driven CRM, this is going to be a world of difference. So what else can you do with this? There's a lot of task management activities in here. Go in and add activities, set up calls. You can assign tasks to your co-founders. You can assign investors to your co-founders. So you can go in and see which investors your co-founders are working on, and he or she can see what you're working on too. Let's say that I have a meeting with Carl. Carl's interested. Carl wants to put down $1 million if I can find a lead investor, so I might tag that as a 50% probability. So you can see, it's hard to see my screen here. But you can see now I start to build up my potential investor list here. Ted comes in, he's interested. He commits, it's all right. He says yes, move him to committed. And I think I had a different, but you can see how you can now track who's in, how much more you have to go, so on and so forth. So this is our investor board. Again, once you've worked on it for a while, it looks like this. Saves you, oh, I'm out of time. Okay, so that's it. And then one last thing is we also have this cool Founders Market, which we just released. Lots of great deals for you and your startup. So thanks.
Nathan, just in a nutshell, what are some of the other features inside the platform?
Within Foundersuite?
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a pretty comprehensive set of tools. We have tools for getting feedback on your idea. We have a set of startup docs, things like pitch decks, models, cap tables, term sheets, NDAs, hiring agreements, pretty much like everything you need to get going with your startup. So, you know, in a nutshell, if you think about Foundersuite, what do we have? We have tools for doing things like fundraise, like I've showed you here. We have 80 templates for things like hiring, planning, founders agreements, things like that. And then we have this Founders Market, which I just showed you, which is other tools that we've got discounts for you. So it's pretty much like everything you need to build a startup in one place.
Quick question about product roadmap.
Yeah.
Thinking it maybe is something that you guys currently offer, so if so, I'd love to know how you guys are different and better than the thing that I just signed up for, but would also love to know if this automatically could link into eShares Inc. or something like that, that could automatically convert the investors that you've lined up into my cap table and then automatically send eShares out.
Okay, interesting. You know, like eShares is a partner. We actually have a deal with eShares in here, so you can get a discount on save on their onboarding fees, right? We actually use eShares. Almost all the deals we've curated in this market are things that we use ourselves and we know and love and trust. You know, we also have in our startup docs, we have cap tables to get you going. And so there's going to be a bridge between when you use our cap table in the early days and when maybe you migrate to eShares. We're trying to kind of map that roadmap out, right? You know, that's kind of the vision here. There's no automated way to really do that because each cap table is a little quirky and unique. It even took us about 3 months to get set up on eShares because it's not super straightforward. But did I answer your question?
Yeah, well, it seems like a natural, you guys can start building a roadmap and make that 3 months shrink down to hopefully like 2 weeks.
Totally. And that's absolutely the concept. I mean, part of the reason I showed you this tool and also some of the other tools, you know, I guess if I had to step back and tell you about the bigger picture roadmap of Foundersuite, it's get you on the door when you're raising money or just getting your company going. Once you've raised money, we show you our deals and other offers on products relevant to you. And then other tools that we have in the mix, like investor relations tool, keeps you on the platform. So we have a master plan for all this.
Great platform. Quick question: the database of investors also works if a startup would like to sell their company, like for acquisitions and stuff, or it's only for cash investment?
Yeah, interesting question. Never heard that before. We don't have any potential acquirers. I mean, you'll find some strategic investors in here, but it's not an exit tool at this point. We will probably add a similar CRM to what you're seeing here, focused on partnerships and biz dev. So again, keeping in that sort of evolution of a startup. Once you've raised money, you're going to start spending on these other tools. You'll probably also start to do partnerships and other deals with companies. We want to help you with that process too. Exit would be a natural, you know, product extension down the road. I would say it's not on the immediate roadmap, but it's interesting. Yeah.
Well, speaking of product roadmap, this looks like a one-way thing for the founders to reach out. Does this also serve as a discovery platform or something that the investors themselves would ever sign on to and use to manage or conduct relations with their portfolio companies?
One of the tools we have in here is called Progress Tracker, and it's an investor relations tool. And what it does is helps you put together a chart of your progress and then put that together with like your KPIs and your monthly or quarterly reports that you push out to investors. It works now. You can use it. People use it. People love it. We're actually rebuilding it, and we'll have a new version of it coming out in April. Once we have this new version out, we're also going to have a feature that investors, if you have multiple companies on this platform, you'll be able to see them all on the platform. So we're starting to get into that too. So as an investor or an incubator accelerator, you can see all your companies on one platform, keep on top of them. Will we open it up to being a matchmaker between startups and investors? I'm not sure if we do that, but there's definitely a secondary customer in the investor in about 4 to 6 months' time. So stay tuned for that. Okay,
Right,
out of
Nathan, I
time.
think we're out of time.
Last thing, I'm going to leave a big giant, since we're giving stuff away tonight, I'm going to leave a big giant pile of beer cozies on the stage over here. So come get your beer cozies.
Do they work with organic smoothies too?
They work with everything, Miles.
Beer cozies for all. Foundersuite. Nathan, thank you, dude. Good stuff.